everyone, it's Aaron from Rudy Visuals here, and in today's video we are reviewing the Comica BoomX-D Pro wireless microphone kit. And FYI, all of the audio in this review is being captured using this microphone with just a little bit of audio leveling in post. So it's a 2.4 gigahertz digital dual channel wireless microphone kit designed for content creators, vloggers, filmmakers, YouTubers, etc. Similar to mics like the Rode Wireless Go, the Hollyland Lock 150, and the Synco G2. And while I think most people would use these with a mirrorless or DSLR camera, you can also use these with a phone or a computer, a tablet, and it's based on the previous model, the BoomX-D, but adds some new features such as onboard recording with 8 gigabytes of internal memory, a safety channel, digital and analog output mode, and also comes in black and this rather fetching looking white color. The original BoomX-D reviewed really well and has become somewhat infamous as the Rode Wireless Go killer, so I'm very excited to see how this Pro version fares. Before we get into this review, full disclosure, Comica did send us this for free to review, but this is not a sponsored review, and as always, all thoughts and opinions are fully independent. But a big thank you to Leia over at Comica for making this video possible. So firstly, let's talk about the price. So this is going to be $269 when it's released later this month. And this is for the set with 2 transmitters and 1 receiver. But in the future, they may release a set with just 1 transmitter and 1 receiver. So to give you some context, the Rode Wireless Go 2 with 2 transmitters and 1 receiver is about $300. So it's not that much cheaper, but you are still saving about $30. And I imagine the prices of these will go down quite a lot over the coming months. So let's take a look at what's inside the box. So you do get this carry case, which is nice and handy to have. We have a manual, warranty card, and the safety pin, which is used to reset if anything goes wrong. We have our 2 transmitters, so these act as the mics themselves, and the receiver. 3 audio cables for connecting to your camera. 2 lav mics, 2 windshields, and a 3-in-1 USB-C to USB-A. 2 of these are for charging. The third one can also be used for charging and for data transfer. So first impressions, build quality wise, is that it's pretty decent. It's not mind-blowing. It is mostly plastic, but it has this nice finish. And while it doesn't have the premium feel of something like the Hollyland Lock 150, it is completely reasonable and it's very lightweight, very robust. And while it doesn't feel high-end, it's not really trying to be. And as a sort of everyday run and gun mic, I think most people will be perfectly happy with the build quality. It does help that they're very small and compact, and these clips make it really easy to attach. The provided lav mics do feel great though. The padding and cables particularly feel really high quality, and you even get these locking buckle things on the audio jack to help keep them in nice and secure, which is a nice little touch. And I think aesthetics wise, if that's important to you, they do look very cool, but without really sticking out too much, which if you're filming, you don't really want people to notice your microphones. So before we get into the details and features, let's just do some quick audio tests to give you an idea of the audio performance and the range. So first off, let's listen to the self noise, but bear in mind there is a computer with a fan right there. Right, let's take it outside. So we are outside now, and there is a little bit of traffic and wind noise, but I do have the windshield attached onto the built-in microphone on the transmitter, and this is what it sounds like. So now I'm going to plug in the lav mic and have a look at what that sounds like. So this is what it sounds like with the lav mic. Now there is a bit of wind protection, but you might hear a little bit more wind and traffic noise here. Now I've heard this back already, and I think the lav mic sounds a little bit trebly, a little bit tinny, and I do think that the microphone on board sounds a bit better, but this is just to give you an idea of what it would sound like if we were to use this. Right, so we're going to do the quick distance test. So let's see how far we can get while this connection stays working. So I'm probably about 20 meters away, and I can see that there is still a signal, so that should be fine. I'm actually going to cross the road and see if it's still working even that far away. So I am across the road now, sorry about the noise, but hopefully you can still hear me. And yeah, it's working fine, you can still hear me clearly. So yeah, all working well. So you could also use this microphone to record sound effects like these. So I think you'll agree that the audio quality sounds really good, and that 100-meter range is also fantastic. The only downside I found was that I really like the sound coming out of the built-in microphone, but the provided lav mics, to my ear, did sound a little bit more trebly, a little bit more tinny. I mean, that could be personal preference, but to me, it sounded a little bit better with the onboard microphone. And one thing I really loved about the BoomX-D Pro is how easy they are to use and set up. You simply turn them on and everything just pairs up automatically, and setting the transmitter and receiver up is very, very straightforward. The receiver simply slides into your camera's hot tube mount like so, and the screens make it really easy to see all your settings, your battery level, the strength, pairing status, recording time, audio levels, and so on. And also the button and I/O layout on the transmitter and receiver is again very simple and straightforward. So on the transmitter there is a power mute, you got your pair and a record, USB-C, and a 3.5mm mic input on the top with the inbuilt mic. And on the receiver, you have a power mode button. The mode switches from mono, stereo, and safety. You have audio level control buttons, USB-C, 3.5mm output, and 3.5mm input, which can be used for audio monitoring. It's all very straightforward, and even if you've never used wireless mics before, it pretty much won't take you long to figure everything out. So a big thumbs up in terms of ease of use. So one really useful feature is the ability to record on board with its internal memory of 8GB, which Comica claims is enough for 24 hours of audio. So this is actually really cool because it means you can record audio without needing to even connect to your camera or device. You can pretty much record audio, completely independently, and also there's no need for an extra memory card. Another neat feature is the safety channel, which records a second track at -6 decibels, just in case your audio is too loud and it clips, for example, or if someone screams or there's some kind of loud noise that could potentially ruin your audio. It's a bit like having 2 memory cards on a camera. It's just there for safety. And then of course that range of 100 meters, which we saw earlier. And even though the vast majority of people, I can't think of any reason why you need to be that far away from the camera, it's still a very useful feature to have. So using this within 100 meters and keeping, front facing, I never encountered any issues with the audio connection and the wireless transmission, which worked absolutely fine and remained very stable. But do bear in mind that the connection will drop if you turn your back or there's some kind of physical obstruction. All of our testing was done outside in a big open space, so that range could reduce if you're trying to film, in a heavily built up area or on like different floors, for example. So any potential downsides, possibly 2 if I am nitpicking, there is a very slight delay when it comes to audio monitoring. The latency is under 20 milliseconds, which to be honest in the real world is negligible. It's not really a big issue for most people, but it could be an issue for some isolated use cases. The battery, which charges via USB-C, for me it's fine. It has a battery life of about 4 hours, but there are some competitors on the market with much longer battery life. Again, that could be a possible downside for some, particularly if you're going to be using this for long shoots and projects. But for us, 4 hours is more than enough, and it's more than enough for most people. But again, it's worth mentioning just in case you are someone who shoots for a long time. But I think for the vast majority of people, these are pretty minor issues that shouldn't really pose a problem whatsoever. So I think that leads me really nicely to my summary. So while there is a lot of competition out there in the wireless mic space, I can absolutely see why the BoomX-D was called a Rode Wireless Go killer, and this Pro version, it pretty much improves on that and adds some really useful features and upgrades. And it's still cheaper than the Rode Wireless Go 2, and is overall a really good performing and viable alternative. And for any video creator looking for a wireless mic, I have absolutely no issues recommending this, so a big thumbs up. Great job, Comica. So that's gonna do it for this review. If you have any questions, leave them down there in the comment section below, and you will find links in the description box to find where to buy this. If you found this video, then give it a like and hit that subscribe button to see more. And you can also follow us on socials over here. And thanks again for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace, guys.